Hello all you honey bunches of oats, my name is Zaven, and so for today's video I thought we might do something that's sizzling darlings. Now anybody who knows me good and well knows that I am a stan for American Horror Story. Now, yes, even though I'm a diehard fan, there are some seasons that I love more than others. But there are a handful of seasons that I could watch on a mother loop. So I decided for today's video I might rank my least favorites to my absolute favoritist season of American Horror Story. So without any further ado, let's get right into this video, because if it were up to me, this would be an hour-long video because I could talk about American Horror Story for days, but I'm not trying to edit for a month. So without any further ado, let's get right into this video, honey. At number 7 is Roanoke. Now, okay, before I start on a season, let me start off with the positives. Now, with the positives, I have to say this was one of the most terrifying seasons of the entire franchise. When I tell you the deaths were so intense, they were so gory, they were so in your face, you just could not look away. And even when you looked away, you just... bitch, I wanted to look more, because it was so in your face, it was so fast, and it was like once this, once that way. You could not look away. So I will give it that. It was extremely scary, very dark, and I think what added to that was the whole found footage effects, real life events kind of vibe. And you know, I'm obsessed with those my ghost stories from the Discovery Channel. So even before the season started, and when I found out what the season was about, I was like, I was in. Okay, so it was gonna be like a very documentary feel, like, you know, reenactment scenes. I'm into it. But the problem that I had with this season was the fact that there was way too much going on and I could not focus on one simple thing. I don't mind if a season has a lot of characters, a lot of plot lines. I don't mind that. But you have to make it interesting and you have to make me care enough for the characters. And I just felt myself saying, oh, she died. Oh, next. I didn't care. And for me, I want to care, because when that person dies, it makes it even more terrifying. That, oh, I can't rely on this character to survive, because now who's gonna survive, or if anybody's gonna survive. So it took me away from that connection, and I didn't, you know, after the scare, it was like, okay, you're dead, bye. So I didn't care enough. I mean, some of the plot lines were a bit, I love the way it finished. It was like a nice bow on top, which I was fine with, but again, it's a season that I saw it once, and I was like, okay, good. Bye. Next. So that's why I put it at the bottom of the barrel, at the top of the list of my least favorite, because I just didn't care for the characters and I didn't care for anybody specifically. But, honey, Evan Peters as that gay lord, bitch, I was here for that. Oh my god, I could not bitch, yes, give me more gayness, honey. He was everything. Moving on to the next. Again, not that it's horrible, it's just that it was not my favoriteest. Okay, Freak Show was... how can I say this without on something? It was boring. Now, yes, I love me some Jessica Lange. It was the last season Jessica Lange was on as Elsa. She was fabulous. Her musical numbers, David Bowie rendition of Life on Mars, I was here for it. I got it on iTunes. Bitch, I was hooked. But after you introduced the clown, I was bored. I was like, truly, there were times where I was watching an episode and I was just like, oh my god. I felt bored. However, I will give it this. Freak Show had some of the most beautiful set designs I have ever seen on television. From the Freak Show itself to the House of Dandy, bitch, I was hooked. I could not take my eyes off of this. But for me, the problem that I had is just that it wasn't interesting. I was bored. You know, I was raised on it. So when you say the season is gonna be focused on freak shows, on clowns, I'm like, bitch, you better show me death, show me gore, show me everything. I wanna scare me, bitch. But it didn't scare me. Yes, it had a few cool like deaths, but after that I was just like, that's it? Ugh, girl. But I will say, Pepper's episode, oh my god. If you didn't cry in that episode, you don't have a heart, bitch. Get checked. That episode had me crying because you felt so bad for Pepper, and I mean, oh my god, you were so invested even from season 2. Oh my god, I could not. How could you not? I mean, come on now. But other than that, it was beautiful to look at, but that's about it. I mean, come on now. Freak Show, and that's all you gotta give me? Bye. Now next on the list, number 5? Yes, number 5. I lost track. Don't worry about it. But number 5 on the list is Hotel. Now, as a homosexual man of a homosexual descent, this season was made for me. Bitch, when you include Angela Bassett, Lady Gaga, Liz Taylor, I mean, how could you not? And when you include like 17 men that look alike, bitch, one for every day of the week. But the problem that I had with this season was the fact that there were so many storylines, so much going on that I just could not focus on something. There were different storylines. They were kind of interesting. They didn't touch on them enough for me to hook onto them, and it was just like moving on to the next, and I was just like, okay, wait, I need to take a Xanax because there's too much going on. But I mean, another visually stunning season. I mean, Lady Gaga, bitch, she did the damn thing. And I mean, coming after Jessica Lange's final performance in American Horror Story, I can imagine these were big shoes to fill to be the center of the season, because it was all about Lady Gaga and Lady Gaga's world, and everybody else was just moving around in it. I felt like she did a great job. The costumes, oh my gay Jesus. How could you not love this visually this season? For me, it was just a lot going on. The plot line fell a little flat for me. It was just not enough to hold me in, but I mean, I enjoyed it. But looking deep into it, there could have been more that was done with plot lines that just weren't touched on enough. I mean, the 10 Commandment killers, I wanted to know more. I mean, these vampire kids eating everybody in the hotel. I need to know more, but I just didn't get that. You know what I'm saying? But Liz Taylor's plot line, girl, we need a minute, because it was amazing. I fell in love with Liz Taylor the moment she was sashaying around that hallway, honey. Bitch. Enough said. Okay, next on the list, Asylum. Now, Asylum, yes, I know some of you might hate me for putting it on number 4 and not on number 1. It's my video. Don't come for me. Asylum for me was a season that was very interesting. It was so dark, and it had, again, a lot of plot lines, but I was invested in it. I was hooked from episode 1. I mean, Lana Winters, you have Bloody Face, you have Nazis, you have aliens. Oh my god, you have so much going on in this season, so many dark, scary themes in this season that how could you not love it, bitch? I mean, girl, come on, give it to me. I was hooked. The reason why it's number 4 and not number 3, 2, or 1 is simply because I am not a big fan of aliens. Unless it's Sigourney Weaver, I'm not hooked. I'm not here for it. Now, here's the thing. From beginning to end, every plot line was written to perfection. The scenery, the set design, mwah, 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 bellissima bella. But the aliens threw me off because you had so many dark, demonic, satanic themes that when you added the alien theme to it, it kind of took me away from the other things, and it left me a little bit So that's the only reason why it's on my list. But again, it's not a bad season. It's just that the alien part threw me off a bit. That's the only thing. But it's my video, so And the name game,
Judy, 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 bo booty, banana, fana, fo foodie, fee, fi, mo, moody. Judy.
girl, to this day, will be in the train, and I will be like, Peppa, 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 bo, Peppa, banana, Peppa, But that's just, yeah, don't worry about it. I don't take medication, I promise. But yeah, that's just me. Again, my opinion. Now, next on the list is Cult. Now, Cult, the reason why it's on the top 3 is simply because it was too close to home, bitch. Under the current administration that we live in, this shit is the true American Horror Story, bitch. I mean, girl, it was so creepy. It was so terrifying because when you add politics, horror, clowns, fear-mongering, I mean, how could you not be invested as an American citizen dwelling? How could you not? It was so good. I mean, the idea of a cult as a theme for American Horror Story is so perfect. I mean, it should have been one of the first seasons, in my opinion, because I am obsessed with cults. I do not understand why. I have read so many books, I've seen so many documentaries, I've seen a lot of shows, of episodes regarding cults, and it's so fascinating to me that one person can collect an entire civilization of people and have them under their spell and do whatever it is they want to do. It was so well written. I thought Evan Peters' performance this season was the things nightmares are made of, bitch. I mean, the writing was very well done, in my opinion. I thought the storylines were told very well. It wasn't the best season, but I thought it was written very well. I was invested in the characters. I mean, Sarah Paulson was put through it, honey. I mean, poor thing, she needed a day at the spa after this season because she went through it, honey. But I thought the characters were written very well. I loved Evan I mean, am I the only one who was kind of turned on by Evan Peters this season? I mean, the fact that I was turned on by a total psychopath, I needed to check my morals at the door because I was like, am I crazy? Because he's hot. I would let him do stuff to me. Just saying. But I digress. Again, the reason why it's at number 3 is because it was so real. It was just too real at some moments where it was just like, okay, this could actually happen and I'm not here for it. And I was like, give me more. But yeah, this was an amazing season, especially coming off the heels of the election and you had everybody just going crazy, you still have people going crazy. So I thought it was so well done. When you add fear mongering, when you add psychological issues to a season, it's gonna end up being scary regardless. So yeah. Number 2. Yes, it is Murder House. Now Murder House was the season that started it all, honey. It gave birth, no C-section, bitch. It gave birth, natural labor, to this American Horror Story franchise. When I tell you the first season was one of my favorite seasons, it's a season that I could watch on a loop because this season was so sexy. Oh, the sex scenes, the characters were hot. I was so turned on this season. I remember being out because I was in high school when the season came out, and I remember watching this in my bedroom, and I was like so turned on by this rubber man, and I did not know why. Was I into some freaky shit? I don't know, but I was fully turned on. I mean, I need a moment. It was so good. It was so well written. I personally loved the idea of every character's death, and every character had a story behind them as to how they died, why they were killed, what's the life they lived before they were murdered or introduced to this murder house. I loved that they did that because especially with the Black Dahlia and that infantada, I think, what's the name of that baby, that freaky baby that looks like me after a long night of hooking. It was so well written, and the characters, you were just fully invested in the characters. Again, there was good writing. When you become invested in a character, when they die, that hits you in the soul. I was fully devastated, but I was like, yes, bitch. And Jessica Lange as Constance, how could you not? I mean, she was evil, brutal, but I loved it. How could you not? And number 1, the one and only, yes, darlings, Coven. Now, Coven is the only season that I have seen more than 17 times. Do not judge me. Don't judge me. Again, as a homosexual man, when you include a cast like Jessica Lange, Angela Bassett, Kathy Bates, how could you not? And when you include the topic of witchcraft, Coven, Wicca, all these things, I mean, I grew up watching Hocus Pocus, The Craft, Witches of Eastwick. I mean, I was here for it. All these amazing things, and you know, I was just hooked. The characters were so good. I mean, this season gave you some of the most iconic one-liners in television history, bitch. I mean, surprise, bitch, who's the baddest witch in town, to Balenciaga, and so many more that it's just too much to count. This season was one of the it's the campiest season in American Horror Story history. It was the gayest season, the campiest season. It wasn't the scariest season. It was not, for me, it wasn't scary at all. It was more of the dark side to it, but also it was so funny, and the humor was so nudge nudge wink wink that how could you not fall in love with it? Now, yes, I will give it this, that I felt this season could have been longer because I felt myself wanting to know more about some of the characters, some of the plot lines that I was like, my thirst wasn't quenched, you know? But I thought this season was so enjoyable. It was a shift, especially coming off the heels of season 2, which was one of the darkest seasons ever, to come to a much lighter, funnier, kitschier season. I thought it was so well done. Characters were amazing. Outfits were amazing. The house was amazing. Jessica Lange as the Supreme. Now let me tell you something. For me, if I was writing this season, I would have made Jessica Lange kill all the bitches in the Coven, and so she can stay as the queen of the throne. But again, Cordelia stayed supreme. That's fine. But I wanted Fiona to kill all these hoes and stay the one, honey. But that's just me. The season passed, so let's put it in the past and let's enjoy it while it was. But anyways, guys, that was my list. I want to know, what were your favorite seasons? What was your least favorite season? I want to know why it was your least, or why it was your most favorite season. Let me know. But anyways, don't forget to like, subscribe, ring that bell, and honey, don't forget to keep it right, keep it tight, and I'll see you until next time, darlings. Bye.